What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Let's start off with college football. Mercer in Alabama, number 10 Alabama, easily cruises to a win, 52-7. So at the top, Mercer's, I don't know what conference they're in. They're very, very bad. Jalen Mills didn't have to do a whole lot. I think he probably came out at the end of the game. That was a blowout. Number 4, Penn State, cruises past Purdue, 4-10. Purdue's really bad. They're 1-9 on the year in the Big Ten. Drew Aller for 247 and 3 touchdowns. Number 8, Notre Dame beats Virginia 35-14. They've been playing really well. Not a Notre Dame fan by any means. They every year find a way to screw it up no matter what their team is. But after that loss to NIU, which obviously is bad, they have pretty much rolled over everybody. Riley Leonard for 214 and 3 scores in that game. Big win for Notre Dame. They take care of business. Number 14, SMU beats Boston College 38-28 in a good game there. The quarterback Jennings for 298 and 3 touchdowns to get a win over Boston College. They might be in the ACC championship game. They've had a really good year this year, 9-1 on the season. College football playoff not out of the question for them. Number 19, Louisville loses to Stanford, to a big upset for Stanford, beating Louisville 38-35, and they won on this game-winning field goal.
The kick is up. It's gone!
In another big upset, Florida beats number 22 LSU 27-16. And my God, Brian Kelly, what are you doing? That guy is a generational choke artist. I said when I did my game picks, I think it was Friday, it was Thursday or Friday, forget which day, that if LSU loses to the Gators, Brian Kelly needs to be investigated for all counts of fraud. How do you lose this game? How? Every year Brian Kelly does this. He did this for years at Notre Dame. Look at that, as soon as he leaves, all of a sudden Notre Dame looks like they're a pretty, clear-cut top 10 team. Oh my goodness. Like, how? It was one thing, obviously, you've had some bad losses here. You lost the first game of the year to USC, a team you probably should have beat. He gets all pissed off. Then Alabama is obviously a very good team. They are a better team than you. But to get embarrassed by your rival like that, good God, that was bad. And now you lose to freaking Florida. Florida. The 5-5 Gators. Been getting clowned on for years. This is not even nearly the program it was, 15 years ago. God. And Gary this part, he's horrible. 27-47 for 260 to 1 touchdown. He's just brutal. You see, Brian Kelly's getting into it with the player. He does this every year. He's not the guy of a coach. Extremely overrated. Good Lord, he is bad. In South Carolina, they sneak past Missouri. Number 21, Gamecocks get past number 23, Missouri, 34-30. They went on this game-winning touchdown.
Downfield, got a small defender on him. Shovel pass, Sanders. Rocket Sanders dances to the 5, and he punishes his way into the end zone.
That was Raheem Sanders getting the late touchdown there. Big win for the Gamecocks. Their quarterback, Severs, 21-30 for 353 yards. 5 touchdowns, big game for him. Gamecocks pick up a W. Number 2, Ohio State beats Northwestern, 31-7. Ohio, 15-24, 247, 2 touchdowns. Just did what we need to do. 100 yards for Jeremiah Smith. Ohio State continues to win the games they should win at the very least. Number 3, Texas beats Arkansas 20-10. A little bit of a scare on this one. This game was pretty close. Only 10-zip Texas at the half. They were only up, I think they were up 13-7 going to the fourth quarter. So Arkansas put up a fight, but Texas ultimately comes out on top. I had a feeling this was going to be a game Arkansas kind of hangs around, and then Texas kind of pulls away at the end. They win by 10. Quinn Ewers, 20-32 for 176, 2 touchdowns. Not going to lie, he was my QB1 going into the year. He's starting to, I'm dwelling on him a little bit. We'll see how he finishes, but he's not been the same since the injury. Then you have the Utah against the Utes against the Colorado Buffaloes. Buffaloes, 49-24. It is not out of the question that Colorado was in the Big 12 championship game. Shedeur Sanders, 30-41 for 340 and 3 touchdowns. I don't love everything about how Deion runs that program, but he's done a good job overall. Only tough year last year, only going 4-8. They took a lot of smack in the offseason, and they've backed it up for the most part. They are 8-2 after a rough start this year. They have played really well and came into this week 17th best team in the country. Again, it is not out of the question that Colorado was in the Big 12 championship game. You have number 20 Clemson. They get past Pittsburgh 24-20. Kate Klubnik with this big touchdown to ice it late in the game.
He takes off, running up the middle, first down, inside the 35, he's going to go! Kate Klubnik, touchdown Clemson!
Kate Klubnik was the guy that I didn't think had a great year last year. Wasn't really sold on him. He's had a very good season this year. He's had a much better year. Clemson, a season-saving win there. You know, if they lost that game, they would have kissed their ACC championship hopes goodbye. The college football playoff hopes are already almost dead. They would have been really dead if they had lost to Pitt. But Clemson picks up the win there. Number 25, Tulane beats Navy 35-0. Tulane, they're really good this year. Obviously, the second best group of 5 team besides Boise this year, but they are very good. Of course, you got a couple in that American Conference. You got a couple of really good teams in that conference. Army's been very good this year. Navy's been pretty good. They're 7-3 this year. Tulane's 9-2. And Tulane's been ranked throughout the year. Army's been ranked throughout the year. They're actually ranked somewhat high right now. Navy was ranked at one point. Very cool to see. But Tulane picks up a big win there. You had number 13 Boise State beat San Jose State 42-21. Of course, they're playing a Mountain West schedule, so they are rolling. Ashton Jenkins, another huge game. 32 carries for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's got to be the Heisman. He's going to he might clear 2,500 yards, and he also might clear 30 touchdowns. What he's doing is just incredible. I wonder if he goes on the record. He's only a junior, so he could come back for another year if he wanted. You know, he goes crazy. He might, taking a running back really high is never a good idea, but there's been a few that have happened, like when Christian McCaffrey came out of Stanford, okay. He was a top 10 pick for a reason. 2 years ago, Bijan Robinson came out of Texas. He got taken in the top 10 by the Atlanta Falcons. But, obviously, like, Derrick Henry's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. He was a second-round draft pick. You see Ramos get taken second, third, fourth round, be great players every single year. But he might be one of those guys, if he, first round might be hard to pass them up. Arizona State a big upset over number 16 Kansas State 24-14, so big upset for them, beating K-State. Number 1 Oregon beats Wisconsin 16-13, so they escape with a win. They're actually losing going into the fourth quarter. They were actually down 13-6 going into the fourth. They escaped with a win in that one. Dylan Gabriel, not his best game, 22-31, 218 to pick, but gets it done. Big win for the Oregon Ducks. That should keep them in number 1 ranking. We'll do AP rankings next. I'm sure the college football ranking will be at some point this week, of course. Georgia picks up a big win. Number 12 Georgia beats number 7 Tennessee, 31-17. Carson back 25-40 for 347 and two touchdowns. Look, if you played like that every week, Georgia would be easily a top 2-3 contender for the national championship. It's been very inconsistent this year. I've been struggling with the turnovers for weeks, but one of his best games of the season, not his best game of the season, against the Volunteers this past week. If Georgia lost a third time this year, they may have been out of the college football playoffs. So huge win for the Bulldogs over Tennessee. They win by 2 touchdowns. Number 15 Texas A&M beats New Mexico State 3-3. I don't think not much of a problem there. New Mexico with a big upset over number 18 Washington State 38-35. They went on this game-winning touchdown.
Here's Dampier, forcing his way into the end zone. New Mexico takes the lead.
Devin Dampier, big game for him. 28 carries for 193 yards and 3 scores. He had a big game on the ground. And a big upset win for New Mexico there. And Kansas with a huge upset over number 6 BYU 17-13. Early in the fourth quarter, BYU had a really bad mistake on special teams. It was a punt. Kind of popped up in the air. And it hit a BYU player, and Kansas ends up recovering it down near the goal line, and they end up punching it in. So that crucial mistake ends up costing them. So BYU, huge loss there for them. Kansas picks up a big win, 17-13. All right, let's do AP rankings. First of all, let me know if you like the new format I'm doing. Getting the clips in there, and hope you guys like that. If not, let me know. If you like it, also let me know in the comments. But let's go to AP rankings. Right now, obviously, the college football playoff rankings will come out, I'm sure, in a day or two, I'm sure. Oregon remains number 1. Ohio State remains number 2. Texas remains number 3. Penn State remains 4. Indiana remains 5. So top 5 remains the same. Notre Dame sneaks up to number 6. Alabama up to number 7. Georgia up to number 8. Ole Miss up to number 9. Tennessee up to number 10 after the loss to Georgia. Miami up to 11. Boise State up to 12. That's your top 12 right now. SMU up to 13. You have BYU plummeting to 14. A&M remains at 15. Colorado up to 16. Clemson remains at 17th. Army is now down to 18th. The Gamecocks up to 19th. Tulane up to 20th. Arizona State up to 21st. Actually, not up there in the rankings. They're getting to the rank of 21st. Iowa State now in the rank at 22nd. UNLV is now ranked at 23rd. Who would have thought? Illinois is now ranked at 24th, and Washington State all the way down to 25th in the country. Let's recap NFL this week. Thursday Night Football, Eagles over the Commanders, 26-18. Look, the Commanders are a very good story. They are definitely ahead of schedule. Jane Daniels, overall, he has struggled the last couple of games. Overall, he's had a really good year. I would still say he's the offensive rookie of the year right now. But struggled the last couple of games. Obviously, lose the last two. They're 0-4 against teams over 500. They are a fraud, but I think they'll still get into the playoff, which is definitely a big thing for them. Commanders obviously been bad for a long time. But Eagles pick up the win. Look, the Eagles, I think, are a little fraudulent too. They've won 6 in a row, have not beaten any good teams, really. This is the best team that they beat. Like, you beat the Giants, who are horrible. Dallas isn't any good. Cleveland's really bad. The Saints are really bad. Washington's a good but not great team. They're a very, very fraudulent, very young team that you should be beating. But, they pick up the win. They're beating teams that they should beat. To me, they're like Penn State in the NFL. Like the Penn State football team. They'll beat, teams that, the inferior team that they should beat, they'll beat without much of a problem. But then when you play the top teams that you need to beat to, get to the ultimate goal of a Super Bowl, whether it's San Francisco or Detroit or anybody like that, no shot. But they pick up a win this week. Packers over the Bears, 20-19. 11th straight win for the Packers over the Bears. They went on this play.
Right through the A gap between the guard and the center. Gets his left hand up. The kick's a little low. And that fingertip.
Blocked field goal. As you saw on that, at least hopefully on the second highlight that I showed there, you should have been able to see that it was tipped at the line. Bears, good God. I mean, the offense looks slightly better. Obviously, you made a coordinator change, but still not good enough. You cannot beat the Packers there. Getting back to 1992, which is the first year you had Brett Favre. That was 32 years ago. The Packers are 51-15 against the Bears. This is often described as the best rivalry in football. It's definitely the most historic because both of them have been around for so long, been in the same division for so long. But it's been so one-sided for so long. And you would think, you think it dates back to, when Aaron Rodgers was in his prime, 10, 15 years ago. This dates back to when they first got Brett Favre 30 years ago. Been one-sided for ages. Matt LaFleur has never lost to the Bears as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. He's never lost to them. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And how long has LaFleur been there? He had, Rodgers for 3 or 4 years. Now he's in the second year of Love, so he's been with there 6 years. He's never lost to the freaking team. To the Bears. It's insane. 11 straight for the Packers. The Bears just cannot beat the Green Bay Packers. It does not matter who's on the team, they just can't do it. Lions destroyed the Jaguars 52-6. That's the Jaguars' worst loss in franchise history. 46 points. I think the worst was back in 95, also by the Lions, which is kind of funny. This Lions team, wow, 9-1. I think they've won 8 in a row. They are rolling. Jared Goff, aside 2 weeks ago, through 5 picks, has had a very good year overall. Obviously, he's got a great team. He's not an elite quarterback, I would say he's a decent quarterback. He had a big game against Jacksonville. They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you through the air. That offensive line's really good. Defensively, they've been good. Even with losing Aiden Hutchinson, one of the best pass rushers in all of football, they've been really good. Obviously, Darius Smith makes his Lions debut. This week, its secondary has stepped up. Kirby Joseph's running the right at the safety position. You got a young corner over there that you drafted, Terry Arnold. You had some holding issues early in the year. Was quiet for the most part. Overall, he's been good this year. That team is growing in. Dan Campbell, he might be the best coach in the NFL. If he can just keep his guts in check in the playoffs, it's going to be hard to see. Definitely only in the NFC, I don't see getting that close to them. Maybe if the Chiefs, flip a switch in the playoffs like they tend to do, maybe. But even then, the Lions, they right now are the best team in the NFL right now. They are just rolling. They've got 3 games where they've scored at least, 47 points or 46 points. They've won by at least 38. You beat Dallas 47-9. You won, I think, what was it, 52-14 over Tennessee, and then 52-6 over Jacksonville. This is one of the best offenses we've seen in a while. You think of the best offenses of the last, I would say, 15 years. You think, maybe, if you want to go back a little further, the year the Patriots almost went undefeated, they had a crazy good offense. Denver in 2013 with Payton, Decker, Demaryius Thomas from the year they lost to Seattle had a crazy good offense. The Chiefs have had 1 or 2 of those, towards the beginning of the Mahomes era. This is right up there with them to me. This offense is insanely good. Yeah, but Dolphins beating the Raiders 34-19. The Raiders, they are just brutal. Brock Bowers is amazing. He had over 13 catches, over 100 yards, and a touchdown. That guy's amazing, but he's the meme is it's like the freaking the Corvette, the really nice car, the crappy house, looks like a shed. That's Brock Bowers on the Raiders. Good God, that team is just brutal. 2-8. They are just a disaster. Honestly, I don't think Antonio Pierce is that great of a coach. He reminds me of Deion Sanders. Great motivator, good guy, not a bad culture setter, for a year or 2, but once he has to actually get into the X's and O's and coach a full season, I don't really trust him. Yes, but he should probably get another year, but team is very bad. His quarterbacks are Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell and Desmond Ridder. I'm waiting on the guy to do it to an extent, but that Raiders team is just hopeless. Rams over the Patriots, 28-22. Rams were up 2 scores for a good amount of the fourth quarter. Patriots make a run at the end, but on this play, Rams seal it.
Minute 55 left, 3rd down and 13. Made deep downfield, nobody's looking for it. Cam Kitchens was ready for it, and that's your ball game.
Interception there by Drake May. Looked like a miscommunication between him and Demario Douglas. He kind of hinted at that after the game in the press conference. You can see Douglas kind of, afterwards, he kind of looked back and was like, what? He kind of was like, what? He was kind of confused. Definitely miscommunication there. May's a rookie quarterback. That is going to happen, unfortunately. We have a rookie. Obviously, don't want to see it. Obviously, isn't exactly a step in the right direction. But rookie mistakes are going to happen. There's going to be growing pains. You got to love it. He's overall played well since he was put in there as a Patriot starter. But Rams pick up a big win when they definitely needed after a tough loss to Miami the week before. They get to 5-5. New England down to 3-8 on the year. Saints over the Browns, 35-14. God, the Browns are bad. Their offensive line's depleted. I think Wills is out now. Their other tackle, DeJuan Jones, is out for the year. He's broke his ankle. Should be back for next year, but he's out for the year. Just that line is just depleted. Chubb hasn't looked phenomenal. Obviously, he had a really bad injury. The Lions, obviously, is the same. James Winston, he looked obviously a lot better than Watson. Overall, played pretty well. I mean, he obviously but for a crap ton of yards, but also the turnovers are obviously a concern. Saints have 2 notes since they fired Dennis Allen. I mean, you played Atlanta, who's okay, and then the Browns, who suck, but you're 4-7 now. Browns now 2-8. Steelers over the Ravens, 18-16. They went on this stand at the very end of the game.
Jackson keeping it. Jackson fake. Jackson tosses. Incomplete. The pressure was there.
Ravens got a touchdown late, brought them to within 2, but do not get the 2-point conversion. Steelers win. How the Steelers are 8-2 is insanity. Absolutely crazy. And Russell Wilson, he's probably played slightly better than Justin Fields, but he hasn't been great. George Pickens has made quite a few spectacular catches, which weren't for him, would have been a bad incompletion on Russ's part. The run game, which in preseason looked horrible, has been a little better than expected. Pickens is a very good receiver. You pick up Mike Williams at the trade line is nice. He's a little bit older, not the same player, but the guy that can go up and get it. Fireman's pretty good. That defense is also incredible. They are definitely a top 5 defense. I'm like, oh my God. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward. They're just Joey Porter's turned to a really good corner. He's one of the best corners in the league, only in second year in the league. Mika Fitzpatrick's an all-pro safety. That defense is phenomenal. Kudos to Mike Tomlin. He should be in the Coach of the Year conversation. Definitely one of the best coaches in the league. And he doesn't have another winning season. He's going to keep doing it. But in this year, it won't be a little quirky 9-8 year where he just sneaks by. Big win over the Ravens there. Vikings over the Titans, 23-13. Titans are really bad. Good Lord. Will Levis looked a little bit better. He also had a 98-yard touchdown. That was a great throw. But obviously, this whole year, he's just been dreadful. So Vikings pick up a win. The Colts beat the Jets 28-27. They were on this late touchdown from Anthony Richardson.
To go. It's 3rd and goal. Richardson running left. Blockers ahead. Richardson gets in. Touchdown.
By the way, I am out of words to describe the pitifulness of the New York Jets. Holy God. This is one of the worst failures in NFL history. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely washed. His numbers don't look horrible, but if you watch the games like I do, and every other Jets fan do, every other Jets fan has, rather, God, he is just cooked. This guy used to be one of the best scramblers in the league, not like, like runners, like a Lamar Jackson kind of guy. Like, scrambling, just getting out of the pocket, just picking up 4 or 5 yards, getting out of bounds. He used to be great at that. He is just a statue now. His arm isn't the same. He's erratic. He's a little more turnover prone than obviously he once was. The guy just isn't the same. This obviously the coaching is a mess. Like I couldn't stand Robert Saleh as a head coach, but you might as well kept him at this point. Richardson was fired after last year. That's why I was screaming about it, because I knew this was going to be the result. When you keep a coach that you should have fired, you want to they're like, well, let's try with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. You mean a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off a torn Achilles? You have a team at best a 10-7, maybe they get a wild card, but basically has to win the Super Bowl because of what the situation is. Yeah, no, get rid of Salah, get a real coach in there, and go from there. The Bears doing the same thing with Matt Eberflus. The guy clearly showed over the last 2 years that he's a brutal head coach. You're like, well, now let's try him with now he's got a rookie quarterback. We decide, Justin Fields is the problem. Let's draft Caleb Williams. Let's improve the team. And it'll be fine. Nope. Well, the hard Shane Waldron, you should know it was over. Once I said on Caleb Williams, you should know it was over too, but good Lord. 4th and 1, they gave it to a direct snap to the tight end on 4th and 1. Like, you have 2 very good backs. You have Breece Hall, who's very good. Braylon Allen, who's a guy who always gets positive yardage. Very good young back to me. I really like. I wish I would use him more, honestly. They were earlier in the year, and then all of a sudden their wheels just fell off. They was not using him. I don't know why. No, let's give it to the tight end. What a joke. That's terrible. This defense is the softest defense in the NFL. They cannot get off the field on 3rd down. Pass rush isn't that good. They can't tackle. Secondary's weak. Sauce has had the worst year of his career by far. Just, good God. They are so soft. Horrible, 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 horrible. Anthony Richardson, the guy who was benched because he was, had the worst completion percentage in NFL history. Was completely mishandled by the organization. Freaking tapped out of the game a few weeks ago. Good God. Apparently it came out that they benched him just because they thought he wasn't motivated enough or his head wasn't in the game enough, which for a professional athlete, I don't know how getting paid as much the money that these guys do, how that can ever be the case for any athlete, to be honest. God, and you get your heart rubbed out on that. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Your Broncos over the Falcons 38-6. Browns are better than we thought and better than I thought. I was much lower than I thought. Bo Nix is playing really well. His best game of his career. 3-4 touchdowns. He's been playing really well. To me, the opposite rookie of the year race is now going to come down to Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. He's played really well. Oh my goodness. And that defense is great. Falcons also a couple of games ago. They also dropped to 6-5. That team's weird. Very boomer bust. They're going to end up winning that division because it's very bad. The rest of the schedule lines up nicely for them, but they're probably going to get clapped in the first round. Seahawks over the 49ers, 20-17. They went on this huge touchdown late in the game from Geno Smith.
Under 20. Smith back to throw. Smith takes off. Geno Smith, end zone ahead. Touchdown Seattle.
Huge rush touchdown for Geno. Geno's weird. Sometimes he goes out there, it's like, yeah, looked a lot more like the guy we saw with the New York Jets. Not that good. No, he's a benefit of the system in Seattle. Maybe a little bit better, well, obviously, when he was with the Jets, but not that great. And sometimes he goes out and makes a lot of nice plays like that. So, very weird, but big win for them. The 49ers, I don't know. I get they've had a lot of injuries. McCaffrey was out most of the season. Obviously, Debo, Kittle had some injuries. A couple of pieces on defense saw some injuries. Obviously, Ayuk out for the year, but still, Christian McCaffrey is now healthy. You've had Debo fully healthy for a while. Kittle didn't play in this game, but you got Jawan Jennings back. Ricky Pearsall is in full swing now. Even with Ayuk, you still have plenty of weapons. Purdy, look, he's not a great quarterback. He's decent enough when he has the weapons he has. Defensively, look, you still have Nick Bosa. You still got enough pieces over there to do some things. Fred Warner, Damon Lenore, I think his name is, the corner. You still have more than enough pieces to still be an elite team. Look at the rest of that division. Seattle's a mediocre team. They're 2-5 since starting out 3 now. Arizona's a pretty good team. They're obviously 6-4 now, but on paper, Florida should definitely be a better football team than them. So this is a team that should not be 5-5. And Kyle Shanahan, he's going to lose his job. He's going to. Whether he deserves it or not, that's a whole nother discussion. But I probably think he does deserve to lose his job. Honestly, yes, he wins a lot of games every year. First of all, he's got a loaded team. He blows a lead in the late in the playoffs every single year. At some point, you got maybe you just can't get it done. And to be 5-5 with this team is just insanely just brutal. Bills over the Chiefs 30-21. You saw, I think it was Thursday when I had Nick on as a guest, and obviously he's a Bills fan. He went to the game. They won for him. Thank goodness, and thank goodness for him. And they sealed it on this touchdown from Josh Allen.
Fakes left, now taken off. Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
I'll say Josh Allen, he had a turnover in this game, but he's quieted most of those turnover concerns this year. Interceptions are way down compared to the rest of his career. He's had a great year. He might be the MVP theater right now. It's either him or Lamar, probably. Take your pick, but he's had a phenomenal year. And Chiefs are up their first game of the year. Bills pick up a big win. They're 9-2. This Bills team, they've been phenomenal. Allen's having a big year. Guys have stepped up. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. A lot of these guys have stepped up. James Cook's had a really good year. They've been good defensively overall. The defense has gotten a little bit better. That's a really good football team. And then the Chargers beat the Bengals in a crazy game on Sunday Night Football, 34-27. They went on this touchdown from J.K. Dobbins.
The fullback in front of J.K. Dobbins. Runs left. Dobbins takes off. Dobbins inside the 10. Dobbins to the end zone. In for the touchdown.
So big win for Chargers. That game was crazy. It was 24-6 at the half. Chargers were completely dominating. Actually, no, I think it was 27-6, at the half. Bengals come storming back. You tie it in the fourth quarter. And for Ed McPherson misses. He missed 2 field goals. He had the one late in that game, and then Dobbins with the rush touchdown to seal it. So crazy game. McPherson, a couple years ago, was emerging one of the best kickers in the league. Has had a really rough year, but he has missed a lot of big kicks for them. You gotta wonder, could he lose his job before the end of the year? But Chargers now 7-3. As Jim Harbaugh effect continues to be in effect over there. Bengals at 4-7. This is a rough loss for them. You saw Joe Burrow after the game. They asked him, he said, "Is this your most frustrating year yet?" He goes, "Yeah." They asked him why, and he goes, "I think it's pretty self-explanatory." So he's clearly frustrated because he's actually had a great year. He's had over 3,000 passing yards, 27 touchdowns against 4 interceptions. He's had a great season. He's been pretty much typical Burrow. Honestly, he has never seen or he does with his weird freaking outfits, and he's got his blonde hair now, which is growing back. At the beginning of the year, you look like a combination of like a young Eminem and Cody Rhodes of wrestling. First of all, you can't bleach your hair like that and go out and be 4-7. You gotta finish the story like Cody Rhodes did. Come on. And look at the perfectly too, because a couple years ago he lost in the Super Bowl. Now you had a couple setbacks. You lose in the playoffs a couple years ago. Last year, the injury, team doesn't do well, missed the playoffs. Now he comes back, dyes his hair. You got your last chance with T. Higgins probably about to leave. Jamar Chase's contract coming up. Joe Mixon obviously and other pieces have already left the team, and then you get this. Shame that defense might be the worst defense in the league. They could not stop anything. Like, they cannot stop anybody. They are horrific. And Zach Taylor, good God, you got to go, buddy. I might consider firing him right now, maybe just spark this team, because now your two teams have a spot, and that should not be the case. season isn't over. Like I said last week, the bottom half of the AFC bracket is really bad. On paper, they are still clearly the best team when it comes to the last spot in. But Denver's playing well right now. You're 6-5. You're in now. You're in a bit of a tough spot. You know, my thought process was, all right, even if you lose this game, Denver's probably going to lose. I picked Denver to lose the game, so you'll still be a game out. But now Denver picks up a win. All of a sudden, like, this team might actually, all right, I cannot see them even being that competitive in a playoff game. If the season were to end today, they would play who? Pittsburgh? Like, Pittsburgh isn't like an overpowering team. I just talked about how I can't believe they're 8-2, obviously. But, you know, I would take them to beat, you know, the Broncos in that game. You know, especially in Pittsburgh. But you know, they're better than we thought. And now Cincinnati, the way they're playing, I don't know. It's not looking great for them. Monday Night Football is tonight. Before we end, I want to touch a tiny bit on the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, but barely. Obviously, Jake Paul won. Can people stop being shocked anymore with this Jake Paul thing? Dude, he's not trying to, like Mike Tyson. First of all, Mike Tyson is 58. He's 58. He's like, he could be my dad. In fact, he's older than my dad. He's 58. Not sure if my dad's watching this. I think he's 50. He was born in 69, so that makes him, what, 55? I'll ask him later. If he watches this, maybe he'll comment like he does once in a while. He's older than my dad. Look, he looks good for a 58-year-old. Most 58-year-old, their stomach will be hanging over this table, this desk that I'm at right now in the studio. But, like, you know, he's 58. Like, what do you expect? Jake Paul's 27 years old. Like, every fight's the same. You know, in their, the guys he fights in their contracts, it literally says, if you knock Jake Paul out, you lose money. If you do it in like the first or second round, you might not get paid at all. Even if you do it in like the last round, you still wouldn't get that much money. Like, Jake Paul has to approve the officials. Like, he's just trying to make money. Jake Paul got $40 million for this fight. 40 million to do this the whole time. Dude's fucking dancing in the ring. 40 million. Mike Tyson got $20 million. But like, Mike Tyson doesn't need the money. He's Iron Mike Tyson. What kind of money? He doesn't need money. Like, I don't get people like, oh my God, how we do it? Did you see Tyson in the first two rounds? That guy was flying. In the first round, I was shocked. I was like, holy crap. This guy's 58. He's moving like that. That's insane. And by the third round, Jake Paul's hands are down here, like by like his stomach. Tyson's not even throwing a punch. In like the last 10 seconds, Jake Paul like bowed down. He was showing respect to Tyson. Okay, Tyson could have went and just knocked him out. Clearly staged. Stop watching. Look, I'll tell you this. I don't like Jake Paul. I think he's an arrogant prick. I think he's an idiot. But my God, that guy knows how to make money. He is an incredible businessman and is a very good entertainer. Like, he knows how to make money. He's very good. He's a great businessman. He's an arrogant prick. And yes, it's very annoying when he calls out, you know, Canelo Alvarez or all these other boxers. He's never going to fight a real boxer. The only one he fought was Tommy Fury, who's a horrible boxer, but a boxer, and he lost. Like this thing has gone as far, like, at this point, he's not fooling anybody. Look, you know, go make your money, King. Make that money. In fact, I respect the fact that he's making money. Like I said, he is incredibly talented at doing that. But can we stop going into every fight for him and pretending like, oh, this is when he's going to lose? No. Look at the other guy he's fighting. He fought Nate Robinson, who was a retired basketball player. Ben Askren, who was a retired MMA fighter, looked like a math teacher, was way out of shape. Going back to my dad, I think my dad could beat him in the ring, actually. Also, the guy wasn't even good in his prime. He's known for getting knocked out in like 4 seconds against Jorge Masvidal from that high knee. Who else did he fight? Anderson Silva was like 60. He fought him. He lost to Tommy Fury, who's one of the worst like boxers I've ever seen. He fought a bunch of other random-ass YouTubers. Like, stop with this nonsense. Fought Tyron Woodley, a retired MMA guy. Guy's in his 40s. Like, oh my god. Goodness gracious. And like, oh, but like every guy he fights like says like oh, I'm gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna smash him. It's for entertainment. Like, honestly, I wouldn't, if Triple H calls this guy out and gets him in WWE, is that the worst idea? Seriously, is that the worst idea? And look, I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. It has nothing to do with that. I like the guy. Nothing to do with his brother Logan Paul obviously being in wrestling. Nothing to do with that. I mean, like, you know, the way entertainment wise, the lead up to the fights are entertaining. You know, he knows how to market it. That's for sure. So, but just wanted to rant about that a little bit. His fights are always staged. It's a money grab for him and the guy he fights. It's clear and obvious. But that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.